What's up, everybody? A Sparrow with a Gun here from Sleepless Nights with another episode on the Space Engineers Inspiration series. We're starting things off today with the Space Explorer Vo Falcon, I think is how this title goes. There's a couple of things to note right off the bat with this ship that is listed in the description. One is that there's a couple of things that the design was supposed to include but didn't quite get, as far as like it's supposed to be able to land on planets, but it turned out too heavy. So keep some of that stuff in mind if you haven't checked out the description. As well as it's not fully survival ready because some of the connection points for the conveyors don't actually line up properly where they should. I'm not sure if this right here might be an example of one of those, or if that's just a missing turret or something like that. There was a warning. I included all of the mods that were listed in the description, but there was a warning about their not being included everything, and so some things may be missing from the ship. I don't entirely know what those are, but I have a suspicion that it's probably what some of these are for. It's probably for certain weapon mods that did not get included in the description, most likely. But overall, I actually found I really like the exterior. It's kind of a simple but cool design, but I think I got more intrigued by the screenshots for the interior and stuff than I did the exterior. And that varies from ship to ship. Sometimes it's the exterior that intrigues me, and other times it's the interior. But yeah, so it's a smaller ship. It's about, in terms of the internals, I believe the description puts it at about the size of the respawn ship type of thing. We've got an airlock here, looks like. So, and then you've got an actual ceiling airlock there, which is kind of cool. So yeah, we've got some tanks back here. We've got a little planning type area, I'm guessing, or dining room or whatever. This part I'm not 100% sure on, but I believe is probably another example of where there might be missing mods, because this seems like some place where you would have a grate or glass or something over top of this, and there really isn't anything there, so it's very easy to fall into that hole basically and get kind of stuck in here, mainly because of these wonky Space Engineers physics stuff, not necessarily on the side of the building, but you know, building wise it's probably not that bad to have. I mean, in real life you could just step up there. In the game it can be a little annoying to get stuck in. So we have a quarters over here, which is kind of cool. I like some of the little details like the vents and things. This does use mods. I think I mentioned that of not being able to include some of the mods because I don't think they were all quite listed. I don't know if that's actually the case or if it's because certain mods have broken since this was put up or something. I'm not sure. This, to me, looks as though it might be one of those large ship splicing type things, because I don't think you're supposed to be able to do the medical bay unless this is done through a mod. I'm not sure, but that grate out here in the floor makes it seem like that might be a little bit of SE Toolbox trickery. It looks like we have a galley type thing here, or something similar. And I'm not really sure what this is for, other than maybe security? A security camera? And then we have a med bay type thing here where you would put your patients. So let's see what else we got. And then we get to the bridge, which actually does have some cool stuff in it, as far as we got this cool LCD screen for your shield readout, and we've got one for floor panel, or floor, wow, I can't talk tonight, floor plan, not floor panel. So yeah, that's a pretty cool setup for a smaller ship. You've got kind of a little mini CIC going on over here. And then we've got basically the bridge. Now, I believe that the description mentioned it being a little bit on the sluggish side, so let's check that out. No, I'd say it doesn't move too bad for the size of the ship. I mean, it doesn't fly like a fighter, but it's got a decent amount of acceleration and turning speed to it. It's not heavily armed. It looks like there's a couple of, or at least one turret up top. There's two on the sides there. Probably a couple on the underbelly, it looks like. but I can't say too much as far as weaponry, so I wouldn't recommend taking it into like a high combat zone type thing. There's also a remote block there. I wonder what that's for. We have shields. It does have energy shields, hence the LCD screen. Hydrogen thrusters, spotlights, all weapons, all doors, interiors, rotor for the... That's probably for the ramp. We've got thrusters. I don't see anything to control that remote block, so I'm not really sure what it's for. But yeah, overall this is a smaller ship. It's not really large, so there's not too much more to explore throughout the build. But quite frankly, if I'm being honest, the workshop this week was a little bit lacking in the bigger ships. There was a lot of small ships, a lot of fighters, a lot of tanks, a lot of stuff like that. So there really wasn't a ton of new big capital ship type vessels to pick from this week. So kind of my options were a little more limited in that regard. So I hope it won't affect the overall episode in terms of time, but I doubt most of these builds will take as long as usual to explore because most of them are a bit smaller. So with that, let's move on to the next one. Alrighty, so next up we have the Perseus. Now this is, I think that's how you're supposed to say it anyway, and this is actually the, looks like it's from a contest in the UESC. Not really sure what that stands for, but it's a contest number 18 or something like that. So this is actually a fairly interesting ship in terms of like for me to explore because the description is essentially null. And so I'm not really sure what the contest thing was for, but it looks like it's an entry, and it's a cool looking entry at that. This is a world file, so you don't really have to worry about what mods are included. However, it does look like there's a couple of mods that are either not updated or missing textures or things, because they're kind of this purple color, and normally that's not what everybody picks as a color. It's just usually the missing texture color. It would be actually kind of funny if somebody took and made a ship that color, and then if you're missing textures, no one would know. Just a little random thought that occupies my brain. And I don't know if I've featured this builder before or this type of ship, but this front cockpit looks really familiar to me. Like, in a really cool way. I remember thinking I liked it before, but this kind of like fanged Viper almost type cockpit looking shape, it seems really familiar, so I feel like I might have shown a ship that was basically done by the same builder at some point, but there's a lot to love in this ship. It is a small build, like I said, the interior is fairly limited, but there's a lot of little details and stuff all over the place, even in this shape back here. It's got this cool little bird-like fighter. I guess you could even say heart-shaped if you looked at it this way. It wouldn't really work for the theme of the ship, but still, I love the layering as well. Like you start up here and kind of work your way down to the bridge and stuff. Really, really cool. And I don't know what these modded weapons are, but they definitely look like they could pack a punch, and there's quite a few of them. We've got 4 Gatling guns looking things over here, 1 cannon thing, 1 other type of turret cannon, Gatling guns up here. I mean, there's guns all over this thing, so it definitely seems like it could hit you hard. Oh, and there's a rocket turret down here that I missed. So, oh, this is kind of cool, too. I don't know if this extends or not, but I like this kind of buffer they put around the connector to where it's kind of got a little sealant, but isn't quite flush with the rest of the ship. But look at this. I like stuff that doesn't necessarily have a functional purpose, but it just looks cool. It's like this shape down here. It really doesn't do much of anything unless it's to cover up something on the inside, but it just looks cool. That's just a really cool decorative look. We've got the door on the back here, so... Oh, there's 2 doors. I missed it. So if you were landing and you were flush with the landing gears, you could just walk in here, which I don't actually think I did before, so I missed this entirely. So this is a med bay. Looks like an emergency med bay kind of thing, like, you know, throw them in here real quick. Or a respawn room, even, if you were actually using it for survival or something. And then this looks like the kind of... Oh, this is cool. This is super cool. I love the architecture in this ship, I really do. Like, it is small, so like I said, it's not really like there's a lot to see, but there's a lot to admire, at least. Ooh, what is this? Ooh. Okay, I take it back. The interior is a lot bigger than I thought. I missed some doors. Okay. First of all, I have to say, I really, really like this upside-down arch thing. Like, I love that it's kind of like a frame for the ramp to sit in. That's a really cool technique that I think is cool. The only thing that I could see being a little bit of a problem is that it doesn't go anywhere when the ramp's retracted. So like in kind of a flight profile type of thing, it could kind of get in the way, I guess. But still, in terms of an exposed view when it's extended and everything, that's just cool. So I ran through this real quick because I wasn't sure if I was going to feature this one, and now I'm really glad I did because there's a lot here that's really neat. This room in particular is pretty cool. It's like a APC type personnel area where you'd keep everybody. And this framing thing for the seats and stuff, this is just really, really cool. I love everything about this pretty much. Like, this is a really neat setup to make the seats look more sunk in and part of the ship rather than just a bunch of seats here. We've got a 3-seat bridge up here with the same kind of little features and stuff. There's just a lot of detail. I have no idea how long it took them to build this, because I'm sure there was a lot of, oh, we could do it this way. No, wait, that won't work, you know, before they finally got everything where they wanted it. Actually really reminds me of a ship I could see in Elite Dangerous, to be honest. Now it looks like we've got a folding door there, which is pretty cool. I'm wondering if this is an elevator or a light. It kind of looks like it's probably a light. Let me see if I can grab... I'm thinking that's one of those square... yeah, ceiling lights. Okay. With the way this door was over here, in case any of you are laughing at me right now, with the way this door was being flat and squared, I was wondering, since this doesn't look like it's giving off light, I was wondering if that was a squared... because it kind of looked like, you know, ladder area here, so I wasn't sure if that was some kind of new elevator mod. It's not. But yeah, I entirely thought this was the whole ship, and I missed this side door, which has stairs and a whole bunch of stuff up here that I entirely missed. And that's what I meant about this ship being like... okay, well, this is a cool area, but it doesn't seem like I can get in here. Wait a minute, what? What? Hold up. This door is not doing anything. What? Glass compact... so they, like, legitimately mean, like, transparent glass. It's just, you cannot see it. That's weird. They might as well have made that a force field door. Unless I'm missing something. But yeah. So there's another transport area up here. I wasn't sure what was up here, actually. I guess we'll close the invisible door. That's so weird. Do I get a... I don't even get a reflection if I turn my lights on. It's almost like whoever made that mod just didn't put a door model in there so that it would be, like, perfectly clear. That's really weird. Anyways, but you can see my point, though, of, like, even though it's a small interior, every little piece of the interior keeps the same architectural theme and everything's got, you know, you got all these lines and these little bits and bobs all over everything. It really definitely feels like the whole place had the same design in mind, which makes it really cool. So, alright, for the last bit on this one, let's go ahead and check out how she flies. If I can get in the chair. Thank you. So we don't seem to have anything really set up on our hotbars, so it's probably not really anything important. This is probably the main flight seat, and then you have like weapons or something on a different one, I imagine. Okay, so I feel like I'm missing something. Because the ship's not moving. I mean, it can kind of turn. That's... I feel like something is turned off. Maybe. Is there a thruster group? Nope. I'm really confused by this, because there's actually thrusters on here. Like, there's these big blue ones and stuff that I've seen in other ships, and they usually move really well. I'm wondering if we have the parking brake on kind of thing, but I don't see anything that would be... I don't see any tethers or anything that would be holding it in place, so I don't really know why it's not moving. But you can see on the little speed indicator down there, we're not going very fast. So I'm not sure what to make of that, to be honest. I've never had that happen before, where a ship just won't move. I can't see that being planned. Like, I highly doubt that's on purpose. It's probably a mod that's broken right now or something like that. I cannot see that. Oh, backwards we can go. So we can move backwards. Okay. And it slows down? It just can't go forward. Well, okay. Oh, now that I'm moving, now it's going. Weird. That is so weird. I've never had a ship do that before, where it just wouldn't accelerate. So actually it doesn't move that bad. It does accelerate a bit on the slow side, but I can't guarantee if that's how it's supposed to work or not, because the thrusters seem to be having some issues that I'm not aware of. So anyways, overall though, in terms of moving, it doesn't move that bad. It just doesn't seem to move forward unless you kind of baby it for a minute and stuff, and then it, I don't know, there's something weird going on with the thrusters, but unless it was purely designed just for the aesthetic look, I'm wondering if there's a VTOL thing or something that I have to turn around, but all of the thrusters are pointing in the right direction, so I don't really understand why you have to, like, move it a little bit before it'll move. That's really weird. Anyways, so unintended behavior aside, the design of the ship just looks really beast. I'm a big fan of the design of the ship. But anyways, we're going to wrap this one up, so let's move on to the last one. Alrighty, and last but not least, we have the Darklight private exploration ship, I believe. Vessel. Something like that. This one actually intrigues me quite a bit. It is another modded build. Actually, all three of these, I believe, are modded builds. However, the second one was a world file, so there's no need to include the mods when you load it in. I adore these thrusters. I don't know what mod this is. I've never seen it before. S-Thruster 2, but this thing is cool. I mean, it looks beast. And I don't know what this is either. There's a lot of mods in this one. This is a Gargoyle PD laser, which seems like something every ship needs. There's a lot of thrusters on this, so I kind of expect it to move fairly well. But overall, I really like the design of this ship. It's fairly sleek and stylish while also being kind of practical and not over the top, you know, artistic, and it still has kind of a fairly naval ship type shape, overall shape to it. But yeah, I'm a fan of the design here. I really like it, and some of the interior stuff in the workshop file looks pretty cool. Again, though, another one of these is it had virtually no description. There is a link to a survival ready version of this ship. But that one pretty much just breaks down the parts and available, like what's in it and how it works and all that kind of stuff, but there's really no description of anything on it. It looks like we've got a hangar door back here. I was trying to see if there's actually like an airlock type door, or if you're just supposed to go through the hangar for everything. I'm not really sure. There are thrusters all over this thing, though. Like, I just flew down here and I see all these down here. It's like, there are thrusters everywhere. This thing should move like a rocket. So I'm kind of thinking we're going to end up using the hangar if we can get the door open, because I don't see any other doors. So tell me this is sensor-based. It does not seem to be sensor-based. Alright, so we need access to a control panel somewhere. I'm really not sure this is the correct way. Oh, no, there it is. Found a door. Never mind. False alarm, people. We're good. Okay, so now we're inside. So here's the regular lighting. Are these lit stairs? What? I didn't know that was a thing, but that's freaking cool. Alrighty. Oh, and I did mean to mention, I forgot to bring it up. Oh, I love these doors. Oh, that's cool. It's very Star Wars-esque. So we have some kind of little quarters room in here, complete with your own little couch. Why, thank you. We've got a rec room, or mess hall, or both, by the looks of things. All of the above. Complete with a fireplace, no doubt, or no less. I did forget to mention, though, I meant to bring it up in the first part of the episode. If you guys have noticed anything that looks a little bit weird or off, aside from graphical glitches in the game, but I mean just of my video style, I did have a bit of a driver issue the last day or so where I updated to the most recent NVIDIA drivers 397.31 or something for anyone who cares, and it has done something that screwed up my DisplayPort monitor. And so I switched it finally because I tried to do restore points, and for some reason my restore points weren't working. Tried to install old drivers, it didn't seem to undo what the new one had done. So needless to say, I haven't figured out how to fix my DisplayPort yet, and so I've actually got it set up through HDMI, which theoretically should be the same resolution, frame rate, etc., but it's not going to be the same refresh rate. So typically my monitor is at 144 Hz through the DisplayPort. It can only do 60 through HDMI. I don't think that should matter to you guys. In terms of the recording and coding that I put on my videos, I'm pretty sure it'll all get compressed down and you probably won't notice anything. But if you happen to notice it's a little less smooth or a little more jagged or something like that, that's probably why. Just kind of a heads up as a kind of... a disclaimer kind of thing, just so that everyone's aware. So this looks like, ooh, we've got laser sources back here. I don't know what that does, but it sounds cool. I don't know if that's actually, I don't know how the laser mod works that they're using in here, so I don't know if that's like basically like a battery you need for the laser weapons to fire, or if that's actually connected to like where the lasers actually are. Looks like we have a ramp here that I failed to notice with a camera. Is there a button or a motion sensor out here? Because I don't see one, so I don't think this is something you should be able to access from outside, like a button or anything. And considering, well, there is this guy here. Are you a laser? Fixed laser. Okay, so maybe that is actually part of where these lasers actually are. I thought these were thrusters. That's a plasma cannon. So I'm thinking maybe those are actually for that weapon right there. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so we've got gyroscopes. Looks like an ore detector. Transformer box. I'm not really sure what these serve or if they're just visual. I can't remember. I used to play around with that mod. I don't remember what it was for though. And we've got cargo containers over here for storage. I love these airlock blocks. Style and color is kind of up for grabs as far as you either like it or you don't, but I still say that we need some kind of block like this in vanilla without mods. We've got cryo and med bay here. And we have the side airlocks there. We've got the mess hall and a couple of rooms back here. We saw that already. I'm going to assume that that means reactor room or engineering or something, because I don't know what that actually means. We've got some engineering type stuff over here. Quaint little reactor room. Like I said, a lot of these ships this episode were kind of smaller. They're a bit on the small scale, so ooh, I like it. I like it. And just as a quick reference, if any of you guys ever download a build like this and seem to have performance problems where the ship's running kind of slow, Typically, turning off projectors like this that feature a really complex model will help with that, just kind of as a PSA type of thing. Not always, it won't always fix everything, but a lot of times I've had where it would, so just kind of keep that in mind. And here looks like the back hangar, though considering the size of the ship, I'm not really sure what kind of a ship you could put out here. Or if this is actually for a ship, or if it's for like a drone or something, because this is a fairly small hangar, that it would be a really limited ship size. But if you had some kind of little mining drone or something, that would probably work for it. I do like this CIC area in here. This is pretty cool. I've always loved the Colt console pack thing. It's one of the best console mods for Space Engineers in terms of adding more computers and bits and bobs and stuff. It's always a must for complex cockpits and bridges and CICs and everything. And also this one had a texture pack, I believe. The sci-fi texture pack thing, something like that. Again, if you're looking at the workshop file, it is one of the mods listed, and it does add some cool textures that you could use to make your bridges and electronic-based areas more complex looking. It's really cool. Alright, so let's see if we can get in here. What do we got here? Camera view, looks like jump drive controls. Not sure what that's for. Boarding ramp. Hangar doors, maglocks, thruster controls, probably thruster or airlock control, I'm not sure what that is. Another camera, and it looks like an arc furnace or a refinery or something. Can't quite make out what that is. An assembler or an arc furnace, probably. Another view. All of these different modded ones, I'm assuming, are either thrusters or weapons, because I can't figure out what they are based on some of this. This is the Minotaur turrets. Some of these are still in there. Some of the they're still in English for me. Thor plasma cannon. That sounds fun. Oh, speaking of Thor, some of you have probably already seen it by now. I did see Infinity War. It was amazing. I'm not going to say any more than that. Just because there's probably people that still haven't seen it, and I don't want to be the cause of spoiling anything. This ship accelerates so fast. These S-thrust, whatever these things are, they're a beast. Though I will say the ship is not entirely gigantic or anything. Oh, that's the mess hall. I was like, did we miss a room down there? So about weapons, though. Those look like thruster controls. Let me try... turn that on. Ooh! I don't know what that does. Okay, that works. Okay, now I'm on that big main... I think. Can't get it to fire, though. I don't know what buttons I'm... Oh, there we go. Ooh. Really now? Really? I don't know what weapon mod this is from, but it seems really cool. I want one. It's like just a press and hold beam laser type of thing. This is cool. Now what happens if I turn that off? Okay, so whatever is on 3, I don't think is related to this laser. This 6 slot, this group icon, is what basically turned it on. But it is a lot weaker looking now. So if I turn this on... Oh, okay, it does charge it up. So those are both related to the laser weapon. Interesting. See, I can figure stuff out sometimes even though it's not actually describing what's going on. Flight speed and control-wise, though, it moves really nice. So I definitely would recommend it for mobility and attack and stuff like that. I don't know what the laser weapon damage-wise will do, but it looks cool. So anyways, I think we're going to wrap things up for this episode. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, and I will see you all next time. Peace.